Good afternoon, guys and dolls. This is Bast with another Kitchen Witchin episode of Kitchen Witchin with Bast. So, first of all, I have to say that I am even impressing myself right now with the rig that I've got going on. I can't show you exactly how I rigged this up, but if I could, you would laugh because it is hilarious. But you get to see what I've got going on in my pot, so however we got to do it. So what I'm doing today, all right, come on, work with me. Okay, what I'm doing today is making, come on now. What I'm making today is elderberry syrup. Okay, yeah, elderberry syrup. So, first of all, elderberry syrup, it is a staple, and it should be a staple in your home too. And it is so easy to make. It's a staple for cold and flu season to keep your immune systems nice and strong. Particularly if you've got, if you're in cold region like I am, I'm in New York City, it is freezing outside and you come across all kinds of crazy germs and whatnot, just being on the subway and whatnot. So we need all the help that we can get when it comes to reinforcing our immunity in our immune systems. So what I have is, what I started off with is, here you go, 1 cup of elderberries to around 6 cups of water. And the reason why the ratio is so big, is so far apart, is because you've got to reduce. You want to bring it to a rolling boil and you want to reduce. So with that said, you are dumping the elderberries into 6 cups of water, and then what you want to add is a couple of cinnamon sticks to it, a couple of cloves, actually I put 4 cloves in there, and you don't see it right now because I've already dumped them in, but I had some diced ginger here. All of these additives that you're putting in is to help support the, it's for your immune system. The ginger is good for your belly. The cinnamon has cinnamon. Okay, I'll come back to the cinnamon. But the cinnamon and the cloves themselves help to support your respiratory function. And if you also wanted to, for some added respiratory support, you can add slippery elm, which helps to coat your throat. If you are having like, if you're having throat issues and you need something to, you know, help your throat out when it's like really dry, and you can even hear it in my voice, especially when you're in the house and it, you know, the heat is blasting, there's a lot of dryness in the air, kind of dries us out, so that absolutely helps too. And then last but not least, I also added echinacea, which is another immunity powerhouse. So I did not have any more echinacea herb itself, so I pulled this out of the cabinet. It's echinacea tea, which, you know, that's the one thing about Kitchen Witchin is you kind of use what you got to get what you want. So put that all in the pot, bring it up to a rolling boil, and then reduce it down to simmer, medium-low heat, and let it reduce down naturally. It'll start to thicken on its own as it boils. Just, you know, give it some time to marinate. About what is it? Maybe an hour. Maybe an hour, maybe a little bit more. It just depends. Depends on your stove, depends on all that. So once all of this is done, all this goodness is done, and it's reduced, and it smells lovely, by the way, drain it. You put it in a strainer, run it through a strainer, and mash the berries. First of all, you can use a potato masher. Where is my potato masher? Okay, I don't see it. But use a potato masher inside the pot to just burst all the berries, whatever it is, and burst, and just kind of, you know, get everything married together, and then run it through the strainer, and put it in a mason jar, something like this, because this is my last batch that's almost gone. I had it all the way filled up to here, by the way. So we definitely use it, and use it quite often. And the thing about elderberry syrup too is that you could just take it every day. You don't necessarily have to feel bad, but if you start to feel something coming on, then you kind of triple up on it, if you will. Take it 3 times a day, and I like to give my family like little medicine shots, which this is 30 milliliters, yeah, which is approximately like 2 tablespoons, and just shoot it down. So if you're feeling bad though, you want to do that 3 times a day, and that will definitely not only temper what is coming on, but it'll also shorten it. So that's great. Anyway, once you drain it into, you strain it, excuse me, into your mason jar. What I like to do is just put a strainer on top of a big measuring cup, and that way, and then you can use the little pour spout to pour it into the mason jar, and it's not less mess that way. You use more things, but it's less mess. After it's cooled off a little bit, then you want to add raw honey to flavor. It's for flavor, but then it's also another immunity booster. You don't want to put the honey in while it's too hot, because honey works much better without the heat. You know, you kind of diminish the properties if it's too hot. So I like to let it cool down a little bit. So that's it for elderberry. And then once you're finished with it, you can just put it into the refrigerator, and it keeps for a good while. Another thing that people do is, you know, sometimes they'll add a little couple of shots of vodka or some sort of like a grain alcohol to it, not to you know, get toasty or drunk or anything, but the alcohol actually serves as a preservative, and then you don't have to refrigerate it, or you can keep it for a prolonged period of time if you have problems, you know, storing it in the refrigerator. But that is definitely not something that you have to do. But anyway, that is my tutorial for elderberry syrup. I hope that this helps you, and if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment, and also make sure that I'm putting this on my YouTube channel, so you just also make sure to like and subscribe. Let me know what you think. Thank you very much for listening, and you have a great day.